Got that right, Cincy. It is pretty sus. Welcome back to the stream. We're keeping it real. Goes right, and we're going to be keeping it pretty freaking real with this one. I know yesterday I missed, I guess, the news, or I heard about it. Didn't have time to really come out and make a video about it. But I'm doing this stream, and apparently, I might as well just make this a stream every single Saturday going forward, because unfortunately, it just seems like every single Saturday I'm doing something of this volition, something of this because WWE, they done it again. on some Britney Spears shit. Oops, they did it again. WWE have released multiple superstars from NXT, some big time NXT talent. We're going to be talking about it, but let's just talk basically about who got released first, and then I will kind of react and tell more of some news that has come out, the reasons for these releases. But NXT, out of NXT, the following superstars were released on Friday night, right before and during SmackDown. Bobby Fish, former NXT North American champion Bronson Reed, Mercedes Martinez, Jake Atlas, Ari Sterling, Kona Reeves, Leon Ruff, Stephon Smith, Tyler Rust, Zachariah Smith, which is a name that people have been waiting for, Asher Hale, and Giant Zanjeer out of India. So there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, there's some of these names you probably know more than others. Some of these names you might not know, like Giant Zanjeer, Tyler Rust, Stephon Smith, but regardless, the fact that we have seen these cuts, and I will talk about each kind of like with some of the individual cuts that were made. The fact that we've seen these cuts has just, again, at this point, I don't need to prove the point. It's already there. This is just additional substantive support to the fact that WWE does not care about their talent. That's just true. I'm not going to go down that road again. It is 100% fact at this point. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate fact that I wish was not true, because the WWE has all the resources to make this work, has all the hours in their programming to make this work, and so on and so on. So we'll talk about that as well. But let me just start off by talking about some of these releases. So Bobby Fish, formerly out of the Undisputed Era. He was in the Undisputed Era with Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and of course Adam Cole, who might be departing pretty soon. Yeah, he's gone. A lot of that has to do probably because of the fact that he's 44. He was kind of treading water. Didn't really know what to do with him, I guess. WWE didn't really know what to do with him after the breakup of the Undisputed Era. Maybe that's the case. It's worth to note that Bobby Fish is one hell of a hand in the ring. It's worth to note Bobby Fish can have great matches. He just never really got the opportunity to do that in NXT. Other than another release was Mercedes Martinez, who they acquired from AEW. They got from AEW last year. And then what happened? They proceeded to put her in one of the worst gimmicks and one of the worst stables of the past 2 decades in Retribution. They go on to put her under a mask. A mask. And say, "Oh my God, look at this person that we've never seen before except on NXT and AEW TV." Wasted opportunities with that one. Bronson Reed was also released. That's the biggest, look, both literally, figuratively, and literally the biggest fish that was floating in these waters that was fished out and taken out. Bronson Reed, there was no reason to cut this guy. A former NXT North American champion. A big guy who was intimidating. He was a better Brodus Clay than Brodus freaking Clay. Yeah, and I'm not talking about, the Funkasaurus. I'm talking about Brodus freaking Clay. The monster. The guy who was supposed to run through everyone. Who wasn't scared of anyone. Physically imposing. Looked like he could have worked as a bouncer at one point. This is the guy they released. Former champion, had great matches with everybody, was getting over, would have gotten over. But no. We can't, goddamn pal. We can't allow that. Look at him. He can't be a champion. Also, a lot of people are going to point fingers at Nick Khan. While Nick Khan might be the reason he might create the budget. Nick Khan creates the budget. He says when we need budget cuts. Vince McMahon is the one who decides who gets cut. And look, it's very little to do, honestly, outside of Bronson Reed, very little to do with my anger has very little to do with the people who were cut. My bigger problem is that more people have been cut since March of 2020 by WWE than in the past decade, since 2010. If you go from 2010 to 2020, you have less people who were cut in that amount of time than in just the past year and a half. Disgraceful, despicable, deplorable. I'm sick of WWE. I'm truly sick of their shitty product. I'm sick of their shitty corporate structure. I'm sick of their shitty wrestling. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of their shitty way they portray everything as some great thing, some great amazing thing. Oh my God, pal. Look at this. Rewriting history is what they love to do there in WWE. I grew up watching WWE. I grew up loving WWE. I grew up as a WWE fan. And I'm fucking sick of this company. I'm sick and tired of every single week while I'm looking for a reason to like the product, looking for a reason to like Monday Night Raw, which I still, for some ungodly reason, torture myself and sit through. For some ungodly reason, I watch NXT after my Tuesday show. For some ungodly reason, I do all of that. And then you know what? This happens and none of it matters. Because they cut everyone you like. They don't care what you like. Vince was such a heel in 2006. He once said, "You don't like what you like. You like what I tell you to like." He was in character. But guess what? The lines were really blurred between the character of Mr. McMahon and the real life Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He doesn't care about what you like. He doesn't care about what you want. He wants to tell you what to like. If you don't believe me, look at the way he stuffed Roman Reigns down our throats for years. For years, stuffing Roman Reigns down our throats, even though we liked Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was never the freaking problem. The issue was that Vince McMahon, yes, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the issue was Vince McMahon and his shitty booking of Roman Reigns. The issue was they wanted him to get over as a face by not doing anything and acting like a freaking geek. That's what they wanted from Roman Reigns. They wanted him to go out there, cut these white meat babyface promos, and do nothing that was interesting, nothing that was fun, nothing that we wanted Roman Reigns to do. Us as people who watch the product, us as people who buy the product. And this only adds to all of those same frustrations. This only adds to all of those same sentiments that we have been saying for years. WWE cares nothing about what you and I think. They don't care about what anyone outside of their sponsors, maybe, because apparently they got in some big trouble with their TV sponsors or TV partners rather for cutting Bray Wyatt. Didn't matter though. WWE, haha, goddamn pal, we tread on. Anyway, I'm growing tired of this company. I'm growing tired of the booking. You know what I'm growing really tired of? I'm growing really tired of the idea that WWE cares. Not just about their wrestlers, not just about their fans, but about anything. This is a company at this point that can just print money by putting out content. That's all they care about now. They put out content. They know people are going to watch. They don't care what the content is. And if they don't care, why the hell should I care? Why should I, as a wrestling fan, as someone who watches wrestling, why should I care? Genuinely. Great question. It's not even sad anymore. It was sad like 2 months ago and the first time they did this. It was sad last year when they did this. At this point, it is business as usual. They're probably going to spin this as what is best for business, right? Right, Cincy? They're probably going to be like, this is best for business. We need to free up more money, even though we're in the most profitable year in the history, the 40-plus year history of our company. We are in the most profitable year, and we're just getting rid of as many talents as we want, and as many talented talents as we want. And then we get mad when they go somewhere else. We get mad, guy. Oh my God! How dare they go to the competition? How dare they go to AEW? How dare they go to New Japan? Have they no decency? They want to make money? What? What a weird thought that people want to make money in a sport where they literally throw themselves at the ground for a living. They want to make as much money as possible as they possibly can before their body gives out on them. Oh my God, what sellouts, what weirdos, what backstabbers, those Benedict Arnolds who go to AEW. Fuck out of here. My prediction is budget cuts since he edits. I believe that was one of the reasons that was given. It was budget cuts as well as a rebranding of NXT, which I'll talk about in just a minute, actually, because that is the whole reason of this stream. It's to talk about the reason, and the reason is because WWE currently wants to restructure and rebrand NXT into something else, or something new. I don't know what it's going to be. It's still going to be a third brand. It's still going to be a little bit more of a, I guess, younger developmental territory, but that's to be seen. Just give me 1 second. Let me type this out. If you have any questions, do put them in the chat. All right. Cool. Sorry, I just need to type out a post. Cool. Okay. Not cool, though, WWE. So, here we go. So, here is the report on why these releases came down. Or at least this is the report is that WWE is currently looking to rebrand NXT entirely. They're gonna come out with a new logo. They're gonna come out with a new sound, a new music, new new arena too. They're gonna change the lighting, they're probably gonna end up going out on the road every week. Is I assume that's what they want to do. And the other part of this is WWE wants to make sure NXT gets younger. And if you look at some of the people who are released, some of the big-time people, Bobby Fish, age 44, Mercedes Martinez, age 40, if we're being honest, they're no spring chickens, but it's not like these aren't people who can contribute elsewhere. You only have, 15 hours of television a week. Think about it. 3 hours of Raw. You got 2 hours of NXT a week. You have 2 hours of SmackDown. That's 7 hours right there. Plus you got an hour of main event. Plus you got 205 Live. Plus you have NXT UK. You have right around 10 to 12 hours a week of consistent TV time, consistent show time to present these talents. And then you complain about, oh my God, no one can get over, and no one is over enough to get to that level, to make it on the main roster, to have those, to fill that time. So you have to keep on reusing the same matches with Drew McIntyre, with Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles. The only 5 people you see on Raw: Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Amos, and you can probably throw in Riddle there too. There you go. That is 3 hours a week. You see mismatches. You see shuffles of those 3 talents every single week in matches. There's nothing fresh about that product. Raw fucking sucks. All right, Raw sucks. It sucks. And little WWE marks can get mad at me about that. Don't care. It sucks. Your product sucks. Your writing sucks. Your booking sucks. Your corporate structure sucks. The way you handle your talent sucks. The way you treat your fans sucks. Absolutely terrible. Excuse me. Another thing, as this rant just continues. Actually, since he just commented in the chat, I'm not surprised about Bobby Fish, to be honest, since Cole is likely gone. Yeah, Adam Cole is also likely gone. There's actually, excuse me. There's actually a report here. I'll try to pull this up so everyone can see it, because I do think that this is important. Just give me 1 second, but. Just to kind of put a bow on their quote-unquote rebranding of NXT, their rebranding. They want to rebrand NXT into something that is, I assume, they want to think it to be fresher and new, because the real reason is they lost. They lost the Wednesday Night Wars, as people were calling it. They lost that, so they're trying to save face and be like, oh, wow, look at us. We're rebranding. We're new. We're fresh. We're not gonna lose now. NXT is gonna be bigger, better than ever. All that jazz, but it's bullshit, and we all know it's bullshit. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second while I adjust this. If you haven't already, hit that like button as well, so more people can see this and more people can listen to my ranting. Because God, this is real take rant talk at this point. This is what I should start calling this show. So this is from Cultaholic Wrestling. You guys probably know them. Great channel, by the way. Be sure to check them out. They do some awesome, brilliant work, actually. Love what they do. So this is from Cultaholic Wrestling. Wait. And boom, boom, boom. Colt Cabana. Right there. So Cultaholic Wrestling, right here. They are talking about these releases. Hold up, sorry. Oh my God, see, this is why we don't do live. Goddamn, pal, live TV. So right here, you guys can see that. So this is from Cultaholic Wrestling. It was reported Friday afternoon that NXT performer Adam Cole was due to meet with Vince McMahon prior to that evening's SmackDown tapings in Tampa. As update from Fightful Select that claims that a couple hours prior to SmackDown, Cole was taken to meet McMahon. The report indicates that the meeting went well and that McMahon, quote, seemed to have taken a liking to Adam Cole on a personal level. Cole was apparently not backstage during SmackDown itself. The Fightful report adds that there have been several pitches for Cole on both Raw and SmackDown over the last week should he choose to re-sign with WWE. According to the report, quote, it was communicated to Cole that he is wanted on the main roster. Cole's contract obviously runs out at SummerSlam. He signed that extension. Reports also came out Friday that AEW had made Cole an offer. Tony Khan went on to decline this claim. However, if we're being honest, do we really think Tony Khan is gonna say that, oh yeah, totally, he's not gonna sign with us? Come on, let's think about it. Let's go through the chat. That sounds dumb as hell. Sorry, that just sounds dumb. The hell would bring to rebrand. Yeah. Big Ticket says WWE gets lots of YouTube views because few people will sit through 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. It's true. Very few people will sit through 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. I tried it I should be rewarded in some way. I need to be compensated for the amount of service, the amount of money that I probably by myself in my own household have generated for WWE Raw, considering how trash that product is and considering how little people watch it. Those quarterly numbers are not good for WWE Raw. Trust me. I know a thing or two about numbers. But But yeah, they're just gonna add an E in it. In NXT, oh, that would be NXTE. Oh my god, could totally see them doing that. But the goal is for NXT to get smaller. The goal is for not smaller, younger. The goal is for them to get to a point where they can feature younger stars. And again, if that's your goal, and you release people like Bobby Fish, who's 44, Mercedes Martinez, who's 40, okay. But then why do you release Bronson Reed, who's 32? 32 years old, in the prime of his wrestling career, doing the best work of his career. Come on. You're going to release him. You're also going to release all these young guys like Zachariah Smith. You're going to release Giant Zangier, Asher Hale. Like, these are like spring chickens. These are new people. You're supposed to be building. That's the whole point of having a developmental territory. You build these people up. And also, Cincy, I don't think they're that clever to call it next and add the E in there. They're going to add the E wherever they want. You know, get the E out of there and put it in at the end, because that's what they'll probably do. But no, WWE have lost a lot of respect from a lot of fans. They lost my respect a long time ago at this point. But it is crucial. It is crucial that somebody down there, somebody in WWE, gets their head out of their ass and really looks at the landscape of this company in an honest way, and thinks about what and fixes what's going on, because this is bad. This is really bad. I don't want to overstate this, but it is getting to the point where fans have been alienated from the product, where wrestlers know that the company doesn't care about them. What wrestler is gonna, even if the paycheck is good, what wrestler is really gonna want to go? Big Ticket asks, do you think Bronson Reed would be a good fit in AEW? They could use some bigger guys. I would actually, not in AEW. I don't think there's a need for Bronson Reed in AEW. You have the Murder Hawk Monster. You have, you have Miro. You have a few people who can fit that big person, that big monster role. I think Bronson Reed for himself would do a lot better in one of two places: either MLW, which is getting off the ground, and I believe just next month they're starting their new TV show. They have what was his name? They got I forgot his name. Davey Richards. They brought Davey Richards out of retirement. They are planning on potentially talking to Braun Strowman. They're trying some things here, but cheaper. This guy would be cheaper than Braun Strowman, younger than Braun Strowman, and in a lot of ways fit a very similar role to Braun Strowman. So a company like MLW, trying to get off the ground, making a splash, that could help you to begin with. Bronson Reed is a great talent. He's 32 years old. He's young. He's big. He's strong. He's over. These are all things you want in a premier talent. And I think MLW would be a great place for Bronson Reed. AEW, not so much. Like I said, they already have a pretty bloated roster at this point, even with Rampage coming along. I think unless Adam Cole, at this point, you only want to go for the big fish. You don't want to go for I don't think they're gonna want to go for someone like Bronson Reed, because they also don't have a need for that role in their roster. I think Impact Wrestling would be another place that Bronson Reed could wind up. He would do great in New Japan. That's what I would say. He will do great in New Japan. Yeah, and there's a little more to what's happening here. So this is interesting. I'm gonna try to pull this up. So this is also from Cultaholic Wrestling. So this is a report from a WWE official who commented on the mass releases, and I'm gonna try to show you as much as I can here. So here we go. With the releases of 13 different talents on Friday, WWE has now cut ties with over 50 employees in 2021, and over 100 employees been cut since April of last year. 100. In the most profitable year of this damn company's existence. 100. I'm sorry. Let me continue. An anonymous WWE official spoke to Fightful Select about the recent trend of mass releases and shed light on WWE's perceived hoarding of wrestlers over the past several years. First, all right, so here we go. It's in bullets. First bullet says, the official stated that in 2018, WWE entered a talent stashing mode with what he and others believed were honest intentions. So that was back when you were hearing rumblings of maybe another wrestling company happening. AEW just maybe announced or were about to announce. And the independent scene was looking good. Ring of Honor was going to have a big show at MSG along with New Japan. New Japan's trying to break into the market. So they were kind of in talent hoarding mode where they were like, all right, let's hold on to our own. We're making enough money, and let's make sure the competition doesn't do anything that could potentially hurt us. Okay. So then the second bullet point here, the plan for talent stashing was to develop the performance center worldwide, fortify each center with both native and international talent, with some wrestlers traveling between groups. And they were trying to do stuff in Japan, India, and UK. So the plan was to have NXT UK, NXT Japan, NXT India. Consolidate 3 great wrestling markets. Amazing. Great idea in theory. Have people go work in those places. Give people the opportunity to not be on WWE TV every week. Which, in a weird way, if you think about it, AEW did this idea a lot better than WWE did because they have partnerships with their talent in New Japan. They have partnerships with their talent in Impact and NWA. So there's a bit of a talent swapping that's going on there amongst a lot of these. Also AAA as well. So, because WWE, let's be honest, they didn't do any of this. This is a great idea. They didn't do any of this. None of this actually ended up happening. So here we go. It goes on to say the report states that after the stashing began, within a year, the source told us they could see the brakes being pumped on that and that talents were being parked with an enhanced focus on going to the launch of NXT on USA. Once that happened, the pandemic occurred shortly after and everything came to a screeching halt. So, okay, the pandemic happens. Would understand that if that was the excuse, if they didn't do this dumb thing of we're going to move NXT to the USA Network to try to stop this competition, starting this non-competition, right, from taking over. Like, it is, no comment, dumb, short-sightedness. A billion-dollar corporation, a publicly traded company that suffers from this amount of short-sightedness, it's a miracle they're still in existence. The source says of the releases that, quote, Vince McMahon can personally put a stop to any of these while also claiming the decisions on the releases are a group effort. But if we're being real, this points to that idea that Vince McMahon, at the end of the day, at the end of it all, Vince always has final say. Vince always has the final word. Vince McMahon runs the show. As much as we want to give Nick Khan grief, some of it is warranted because at the end of the day, Nick Khan is the one responsible for saying when they need to cut the budget. Nick Khan is the one responsible for saying how much fat needs to be trimmed. But Vince McMahon makes these roster decisions. Nick Khan isn't there. Nick Khan isn't aware of the product, and you can argue Vince McMahon probably isn't either. But go on to say that the next bullet goes on to say that the releases are going to be, quote, a regular occurrence going forward, but with less frequency and less cuts among bigger name talents. That's basically what's been happening here over the past few months. We saw like 3 huge releases, 3 huge batch of releases in April and May, like one right after the other, like it was like those were 3 big ones that happened pretty frequently, like or with little time in between them. And then we've seen what's been happening over the past few months. Outside of Bray Wyatt, that was a huge name. That's probably the biggest name that was released in 2020 or 2021. Excuse me. The source also says that the subject of mass releases hadn't been a concern for 4 years, from the summer of 2016 until early 2020, obviously. So there we go. I'm gonna get off that. Crate and Barrel. Nice stuff there. So yeah, it is. Yeah, it's WWE doing what WWE does, which is horribly mismanaging their own company, horribly mismanaging their own talent, horribly mismanaging their own vision. I don't know how this is a publicly traded company. How is this a publicly traded company if they have this little foresight? Need the caffeine. But yeah, no, this is it just this information kind of goes to show you though why WWE is on a product in peril. You know, I look, and I'm not saying a product in peril as far as they're gonna go out of business. No, they're not gonna go out of business. Not at least anytime soon. At least it's a product in peril because the product sucks. Gonna keep on emphasizing that the product really sucks. They're a product in peril because the product is getting stale. They're a product in peril because they're mismanaging. They're a product in peril because hardcore wrestling fans, who are the ones who spend the money, are becoming more and more alienated by the actions of this company. And when you take a look at the reason why they wanted to cut these people is they want to rebrand NXT into something else. Okay, fine. But you're telling me you couldn't find something for Bronson Reed to do? The former NXT North American champion, you couldn't find anything for him to do? The dominant NXT, the over NXT North American champion, you couldn't find anything for him to do? You've mismanaged the company so much that CM Punk is returning to wrestling and he's not returning to you? You mismanaged the company so much that Daniel Bryan just signed with your competitor and let his contract expire, didn't sign a new one. You mismanage your company so much that Adam Cole, someone who is slated to print money, guaranteed to print money on the main roster, doesn't want to go to the main roster because, and look, we all know it, because we all know what's going to happen when he gets there. Adam Cole is going to get to the main roster within 6 months. It's going to be a joke. Maximum, he's going to be like, in the Intercontinental Championship hunt. He's going to be Nakamura. That's what would happen. And look, and I'm not saying that that's not trying to disparage Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura is still one of the best competitors in the world, but it is disparaging the way they book people, the way WWE books people. See, it's never about the talent. Nakamura, it's actually insane how WWE have managed to mess up some of these talents. Shinsuke Nakamura should not be a mid-carder, but here we are. Shinsuke Nakamura is a mid-carder. Bobby Roode is chasing for the WWE 24/7 title. He's in those little backstage. Bobby Roode? You don't know how to manage talent. You don't know how to evaluate talent, or at least Vince doesn't, because Vince has final say over all of this. He always has. Probably always will. And honestly, that probably is the saddest part of all of this, because what else are you saying? You're seeing Triple H's power dwindle away. He's having his people cut. He's having his brand rebranded, probably without little to no say. He can't be happy. He can't be happy about it. And this is the guy who's supposed to be the heir apparent to Vince McMahon. Are we really sure about that at this point? Are we sure it's not going to be someone else? Are we sure it's not going to be something else? Are we sure WWE is even going to be in wrestling like a few years from now? I'm just saying. So I think this is just about it. If you guys have any more questions, put them in the chat and I'll answer all of them. Stay here as long as I need to. But I mean, look, I hope this doesn't become a weekly Saturday thing, because I did it last week. I did it a few weeks before. I don't want this to become a consistent thing, but look, the word from the WWE official says that this is probably going to happen more often. And again, that's sad. Especially, and look, Bobby Fish and Bronson Reed and Mercedes Martinez, these talents like that, they're gonna be fine. Some of the other talents, I hope are gonna be okay. Some of the people who were cut, the people at headquarters who were cut, I hope they're gonna be okay. Those are the people I feel for the most, because look, like they have the lowest salaries, they have the lowest job security in this entire company. Those are the people we probably should worry about more, are the people who are released at corporate. And I'm not talking about the executives. I'm talking about like entry-level workers, entry-level staff, the staffers they release during these cuts that we never hear about. 100 people have been cut, fired, done with WWE since April 2020. In the most profitable year, in the most profitable company. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So I don't think anyone has any more questions. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for joining. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Also, smash that subscription button too. I got that mixed up. Hit that like button. Also, hit that notification bell. Subscribe to the channel, and so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Real Take Wrestle Talk on Tuesdays. Real Take Sports Talk usually on Thursdays. Probably going to do a special one this week, make up for the one last week. But Real Take Sports Talk on Thursdays. Going to have a big preview to the NFL season, talk about NBA free agency, all that jazz. We're going to be talking more about these WWE releases on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Real Take Wrestle Talk. So subscribe. We'll see you next time. Later, guys, and have a good weekend.